you fuck with my energy. Don't you fuck with my energy. Don't you fuck with my energy. Don't you fuck with my energy.
Hey guys, thank you for watching Three Hoodoo Sisters. I'm actually going to discuss a topic that a lot of people are constantly asking me about, especially people who are new to their spiritual journey. And I just want to say, hey guys, it's me, Priestess Sabri. So I'm just going to answer some questions I get a lot and that I just don't answer at times, but decided to take the time and answer it. I get asked a lot, how do I deal with family members, friends, and strangers who judge me for my religious beliefs or my religious practices? And the first thing that I really want to let you guys know is your religious beliefs is personal. Your relationship with God is personal. It's one of the most easiest things is to preach your religion to somebody else because it is spiritual, it is mystical, it is not something that you cannot see. It's easily preached and nobody has to take any responsibility for you. So once they tell you all of these things, and in their mind, they're doing a service, where really the reality is that you're in charge of yourself, you're in charge of your reality, and you're in charge of how you navigate through this life. People have the right to their opinions, but they do not have the right to force something on you because it is a popular belief system. I guess I should tell you more about my background. I was raised Catholic. Both of my parents were also raised Catholic. And as we all know, Catholicism can be a tricky thing. It's a very interesting form of Christianity. And as you know, there's many different forms of Christianity. And so early on, I always had a sense of religion, not of spirituality. Religion and spirituality are two separate things that can work together. What's that word? But that was my first introduction to God, which was in a religious sense. You have to remove God in your spiritual path from religion. Religion and spirituality are two different things. Religion is more of like rituals and customs passed on as religious belief systems. You have to understand that these books were written by man and supposedly, quote unquote, inspired by the word of God. And, you know, just by reading many holy books, you'll see that there's some conflicts within these books. But again, I read the Bible as a book of spiritual advice, not a book on how I should dictate my life. So that's the first thing you're going to have to learn, to remove yourself from religion and spirituality are two separate things. God is not Christian. God really has no religious association, but humans have put him in affiliation with certain religions, meaning if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in God. If you don't believe in Muhammad, you don't believe in God. If you don't believe in the God of the Torah, then you don't believe. You see what I'm saying? Like associating God like he's in a gang. Like if you're not part of this gang, then you don't believe in God. When really your relationship with God is a very deeply personal relationship. Nobody can dictate how it's supposed to go. So you're going to have to deprogram yourself to take him outside of that religious box, and that takes time. It takes years for some people. It took me a long time. God is not Catholic. God shines on all of us. He's in all of us. You see what I'm saying? How come Hindus have blessing? How come Muslims have blessings? Because the universe is an equal opportunity blesser and an equal opportunity hater all at the same damn time. So once you understand universal law and how spirits and certain like deities work, then you'll understand that they all play a role in what is God. You see what I'm saying? And that is how the people of African descent understood God. that every little piece of earth, wind, fire, air, everything comes into one to create the universal energy of God. You see what I'm saying? I always tell people nobody's path is the same. So you're going to have to understand what may work for Chris may not work for Tom. So once you can do that, also remember, guys, your religious beliefs is nobody's business. You have the right to your privacy. You have the right to save your soul, because in the end of the day, you were born alone and you will die alone. So you have to figure it out for yourself. Also, you evolve. Your truth will change. So what was once facts, you know, will become falsehoods, and that's okay. Think about it. If every time somebody approached you and told you about Jesus or about Muhammad or told you about, you know, whatever, and they had to pay your rent, okay, people would get real quiet. Because it's easy to speak about religion because there's no responsibility behind it. It's easy to put up a front. Religion is a safety net for many damaged people, okay? Remember that, not all, but many. And spirituality can also be a spiritual system for delusional people, people who don't want to deal with reality. So there's both ends of the actual spectrum. But what I really want you to understand is that you're going to have to build a thicker skin over time. You were born in a country and in a time where this is what people believe in. What is it? Abrahamic, the religion of Abraham. Who's calling me? The religion of Abraham. So these Muslim, Christian, Jewish, this is what you're naturally raised around, okay? I would tell you to educate yourself. Read religious history, not in a place of anger or wanting to debate, but in a place of understanding where you're going to go spiritually, understanding that many of these stories are old and have been around since the beginning of time. Okay, remember, religion is man-made. Spirituality is not. It has always been in existence. Also, another thing that you cannot argue with people who have been programmed. Stop. Breathe. You are not going to be able to stop people from believing in what they believe since they came out of the womb. From the day that they were born and could comprehend and have an understanding of what is going on around them, they were told that anything outside of Jesus is bad. Okay? From day one. So you have to understand that that disconnection from your ancestors and the religions of the continent of Africa, it's actually in your blood. It's in your ancestors. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just been covered up. Okay? So you have to understand that these people are ignorant and they don't want to change. It is not your job to prove God within a religious context to anyone. It's not your job to tell people what they should buy at the grocery store. Your beliefs are yours. You have the right to keep it a secret. You have the right to not argue or try to explain anything to anyone. People like to nag people about their religious beliefs because it's easy. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to pay my bills and you can freely talk about whatever you want. So be able to understand, be able to walk away, be able to understand this is not their journey and your relationship with God is a personal one. Okay, so you got to know how to let shit slide. All right. So once you're able to let shit slide and let them understand that, you know, hey, I'm not here to argue with you. Just like I can't tell you who you can lay up with or where you should live or work. You have no right to tell me what I should believe in. Okay. Hell, you didn't put me in hell and you ain't about to take me out of it. So worry about your damn self. You know, find the nicest way to say that. And you have to understand opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them. So people will always have an opinion about what you believe in. So that's another thing that you have to understand. Educate yourself. Read up on what is religion. Why is it here? You see what I'm saying? And do not try to debate or prove a point to anyone, because they didn't put you here and they ain't about to take you out. So don't worry about their opinions. Your relationship with God is a personal one. So someone asked me, okay, so why are so many people who practice spirituality so evil, or practice certain spiritual systems? Certain spiritual systems don't really believe in like universal law or the law of reciprocity or karma, good or bad karma. They just believe that there's a lot of these systems believe in polarity. Okay, so without good there is not bad, without light there is not dark. And they're also aware that certain spirits and deities have certain natures. And this is, let me tell you, the earth is constantly recycling itself. Spiritually, the earth, there are spirits as ancient as the air that we breathe, okay? And they have a certain nature and they have a certain spirit. And so there have always been people who could talk to the dead. There have always been people who know how to work with spirits. There have always been people who understood what the stars were trying to tell them. Okay, this is a gift from God. Okay, so understand that we as humans are naturally programmed to look to a higher purpose. Let me tell you how ride or die I am. I don't even give a fuck if you don't believe in God. That's how, I don't care if you don't believe in spiritual stuff, because at the end of the day, that's not my responsibility. I'm here to help who I'm sent here to help. Okay, I don't worry about the atheists just as much as I don't worry about a Jew. But I was born this way, y'all. Like, I was a kid, I never cared what people believed in. And I used to laugh when I would watch the like Jewish argue with like Muslim. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Worry about your home. Worry about if your light bill is paid, if your water is still running. Don't worry about mines. I think once we learn to mind our business and to see interrupting someone else's spiritual beliefs, see it as you being nosy about something very personal. You see what I'm saying? And understand that this is a lonely journey. This is a journey that you're going to take on your own, and that you're going to make mistakes, and that you're not going to understand a lot of things, and you're going to bump into scam artists and swindlers and people who really don't even have a good establishment of spirits themselves. Understand that there's going to be moments of confusion, moments of anger, moments of straying off of your past, moments of forgetting your destiny. These things happen. You see, spiritual workers are just here to remind you of who you are. That's all we're here to do. You know, as many clients as I have at times, I think, isn't God tired? Look how many people need help. I always tell people, always put your faith in God first, not a religious God, but if that's how you want to connect with him, because I go to the Catholic Church when I really want to connect. You see what I'm saying? With God. But I know God hears me anywhere. He's a universal energy. He will always be here, from the end to the beginning to the next beginning. You see what I'm saying? So learn that this is going to be a painful journey. You're going to have to break old habits and create new ones. Also, saging and wearing crystals is just the start of your journey. Don't let people fool you and think that meditation, stones, and saging is spirituality. No, this is popular. This is what society is starting to say is good. But the reality is they're hiding their fucked up ways behind basic spirituality. One of my spiritual teachers, and who I also consider to be a godparent, basically told me something. Never go into religions where they make you angry, where they make you servants. Never go, it's not religions, it's more so spiritual practices. Let me correct that. Nothing where you have to basically nothing that is going to strip you of your humanity. A lot of people will join these religious belief systems that keep them poor, basically in poverty, that keep them angry, which stops your soul from being able to ascend, that keeps them confused so that they will never progress in life. Sexual deviancy, where there is a lot of sexual behavior that is not condoned. A spirit of light is a spirit of light. If it's Hindu, Puerto Rican, Haitian, a spirit of light will always give the same universal message that you need to receive. If your spiritual practices have you living third world in a first world country, something is wrong. If your spiritual practice keeps you depressed and oppressed up under somebody else, something is wrong. If your spiritual practice has you acting like you have a psychological disorder, something is wrong. If your spiritual practice, you have no godparent or nobody to guide you, and you're doing things that you don't really know because you read a book, you're out of order. So a lot of people are going to spiritual practitioners who had nobody to guide them, who just read a book, who just kind of like jumped in this cult and just became a part of it. There seems to be more and more cults. Guard your soul. Guard your spirit. You see what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in these religious systems and these spiritual systems that strip you of your humanity. Okay? Stop falling for the okie doke. Okay? This is another thing. Stop falling for fake spiritual people, like people who like meditate and burn sage and hold crystals and burn essential oils, but they're really liars, murderers, thieves, and whatever else, you know, spiritually deviant. Be careful. There's a lot of people, this shit is popular. There's also a lot of mentally ill people who think they're very spiritually gifted at the same time, and some are, but they're out of order. So guard your money. Don't just give your money to any spiritual practitioner. You have a spiritual practitioner is supposed to show you how to develop your own gifts so that you can progress within your own spirituality and trust yourself, okay? That is what our job is. Our job is to reflect God within you. You see what I'm saying? I don't trust most spiritual readers. I don't trust most spiritual practitioners because I can say I came up from under a dynasty. I came from people who did this before me, who held my hand. You see what I'm saying? And then I went to the next level to my godparents in voodoo. So I've always been guided by someone. I've never, and yes, I had to pay. Okay? Throw it up, throw it up. That's how we follow. I had to pay, okay? Because a book, a YouTube video will only bring you so far. That is why so many people keep practicing spirituality and they've stopped evolving. They have a lot of frustration, that they have a lot of anger towards their spiritual readers, spiritual workers, because they want to evolve, not necessarily become practitioners themselves, but see improvements within their own lives. That is our job. That's our only job, is to reflect God within you. But once there's all of these things that are out of order, you're putting yourself in a crazy place. A lot of people don't know how to take spiritual baths. A lot of people don't know how to protect themselves, but they're doing spiritual readings, but don't have no understanding of universal or spiritual law. Conjure on, y'all. I'm gone. Bye.